In this video, I will explain archetype selection theory and how it is related to Jung's archetypes. So what is archetype selection theory? In simple terms, it is effectively how much of an investment an organism or group puts into raising children, with R-selected organisms putting a lower effort into raising children than K-selected organisms. Depending on the environment, following a more R or K-selected strategy tends to improve genetic success. RK selection is a spectrum, and some organisms are heavily K-selected while others are more R-selected. So why does R and K selection exist? In chaotic environments, there is a much lower chance that your children will survive no matter what, so the spray and pray technique is employed, where you have as many children as possible without investing too much into your offspring. This is what R-selected organisms do. In more stable environments, it typically takes more effort to get food and resources, so children must be trained and nurtured carefully so that they can survive. Without investment from the parents in a K-selected environment, all your descendants could die if they don't know how to get food and survive. So what makes an environment benefit more R or K-selected behavior? Chaotic and unstable environments tend to favor R-selected behaviors, while orderly and stable environments tend to favor K-selected organisms. What are the other traits seen in the spectrum of R-K selection, and why do they exist? K-selected organisms tend to have fewer children because each child is more of an investment. K-selected organisms are also larger, tend to live longer, and reach maturity later. Some examples of K-selected organisms are elephants, eagles, and orcas. Some R-selected organisms are mice, krill, and some fish. The spectrum of RK selection is lacking the differences typically seen between male and female organisms in R and K selected environments. In order to signify this, we must add the spectrum between masculine and feminine to the RK selection spectrum. This creates 4 separate archetypes of R masculine, R feminine, K masculine, and K feminine. These are the 4 main Jungian archetypes: the tyrannical father, the deceiver, the wise old man, and the great mother. Let's take a look at some of these behaviors associated with these archetypes. These archetypes are extremes of certain behaviors and traits. Starting off with K feminine, this is the traits of a good mother. Things like altruism, looking after the sick are behaviors related to K feminine strategies. The K feminine archetype is the good side of femininity. The K masculine archetype is typically what we believe God is. A wise old man is willing to sacrifice for the good of others. He knows everything that has happened or will happen. The reason we have this archetype is that older males figured out some way to survive, so we admire older males that are healthy and we try to replicate their behaviors. The K masculine archetype is the good side of masculinity. Sacrificing for others and heroism are some of the main aspects of this archetype. This archetype is also why people in stressful yet stable environments tend to become more religious. The R feminine archetype is all about manipulation. Hoarding resources, stealing resources, and manipulating others in order to make them fail are all parts of the R feminine archetype. More women than men become like this in most R-selected environments. Borderline personality disorder is effectively what a feminine R strategist is. This is the evil side of femininity. And finally, the R masculine archetype. This archetype is all about violence and anger. Infanticide, rape, and murder are all behaviors related to this archetype. It is important to use this archetype against competing hostile genes, which is why behaviors related to this archetype are so common in war or genocide. This is the evil side of masculinity. While my descriptions are fairly limited, and I will do another video that goes into detail about these things, the archetypes can be broken down into the good and bad sides of both femininity and masculinity. Organisms have evolved to shift into using these archetypes depending on the environment in order to gain an advantage. This sometimes even means females choosing masculine strategies and males choosing feminine strategies. Fortunately, there is a simple way to tell if an environment will create these archetypes. Comfortable environments induce feminine behaviors, and stressful environments induce masculine behaviors. What dictates if an organism should follow an R or K strategy is just whether or not there is a stable or unstable amount of comfort or stress. So stable, comfortable environments produces feminine K strategists. Environments with chaotic levels of comfort produce feminine R strategists. And environments that are stressful yet stable create masculine K strategists. And environments that have spikes in stress cause masculine R strategists. The current state of the world is largely thanks to feminine R strategists who have created a system that favors other feminine R strategists. This happened thanks to chaotic levels of comfort over time due to hard work of case-selected strategists insulating a large number of people, creating comfort without much effort, thus leading to spikes in comfort levels. Feminine art strategists also tend to have higher mutational load. To finalise, there should be another axis added to the RK-selected strategies, as there is both the feminine and masculine aspects that better explain certain behaviours. The Jungian archetype associated with these behaviours is our way of implementing and using these strategies based on our interpretation of the environment.